Hello, and welcome to this Miklix video where I'm going to show you how to kill the boss called Margit the Fell Omen in Stormveil Castle in Elden Ring. As you may know, bosses in Elden Ring are divided into 3 tiers. From lowest to highest, field bosses, greater enemy bosses and finally demigods and legends. Margit the Fell Omen is in the middle tier, greater enemy bosses, and can be found on the bridge leading to Stormveil Castle. Contrary to what you might think, he is actually not a mandatory boss, in the sense that it is possible to progress the story without killing him, but you will have to go through some rather high-level areas, so if this is your first playthrough you're probably not going to have a good time if you skip it. Also, as far as I know, he is mandatory if you want to progress through Stormveil Castle. And of course you want to do that. It's a castle. It's probably full of juicy treasures. Anyway, when you get to the bridge where you fight the boss, you will start off with a whole speech about how foolishly ambitious you are and blah blah blah, and he will repeat that with more blah 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 if he manages to defeat you, which he probably will a few times as he feels like the first proper boss in the game and isn't easy to get past. But as high and mighty and full of himself as he is, we all know that he's not the hero of this game and the tarnished who laughs last laughs best. He has several nasty tricks up his sleeve. He will attack you with what appears to be a large walking stick, but for an elderly, whatever he is, he sure is nimble and jumps around a lot for someone who needs a walking stick. I'm actually starting to think that the walking stick is a concealed weapon that he mostly carries to hit people over the head when no one is looking, in the style of a grumpy old man who will just feign senility if he's caught. But very conveniently for him, there are no witnesses on this bridge, so he is going to get away with hitting you over the head with said stick quite a few times. In addition to the walking stick, he also has the admittedly impressive ability to summon what appears to be several different types of holy weapons out of thin air. I'm not entirely sure how someone who identifies as Fell would have access to that kind of weaponry, but maybe someone somewhere screwed up and didn't read the memo about the arms embargoes. He often starts by summoning a pair of said holy throwing knives and then proceeds to use you for target practice, so keep your roll button within reach and ready for action. The knives are fairly easy to avoid, just roll sideways when you see him taking aim. He may also summon a holy sword like he's some sort of really ugly paladin on a crusade against innocent tarnished. Judging by his self-righteousness he may in fact be exactly that, but he doesn't look very much like a holy knight to me, and I always thought those people were supposed to protect the innocent, not gut them like fish. Not that I have met a lot of holy knights, so perhaps I'm wrong. Or maybe he's actually a holy tax collector who doesn't want people crossing his bridge. Yes, tax collector would also explain the evil attitude. Anyway, the worst of the holy arsenal at this guy's disposal is a huge hammer that not only hurts a lot when it makes contact with your head, it apparently also gives him the ability to float through the air and cover great distances. And if you thought that using the hammer to float through the air would prevent him from using it to smack you, you would be wrong. Smack you he will. Hard. I'll be the first to admit that my performance in this video isn't great. For some reason, I had a really bad day of gaming where nothing seemed to go my way, and at first I was astounded at how many attempts it took me, and then I was astounded that I actually did manage to kill him in the end, considering how poorly I was playing. It's actually only in the last 45 seconds or so when I ran out of crimson tears and had to get my act together to stay alive that it seems to be going reasonably well. I guess pressure works. But oh well, there is no such thing as a bad win, and I ended up being the laughing tarnished in the end. Anyway, this is the end of this Margit the Fell Omen video. Thanks for watching. Don't ever put your ambitions to rest. Not even the foolish ones. Until next time, have fun and happy gaming.